Here's the noise module from Malekko Heavy Industries. It's a 3 HP module offering white and pink noise, as well as a digital noise with timbre control, which is CV controllable as well. And there's also a VLF, very low frequency CV output to get into as well. So here's each type of noise on the device. Here's the pink noise, and the white noise, and the digital noise. We can control the clock rate of that digital noise with the timbre knob. And this is CV controllable, so here's an LFO into the CV input. Here's some sample and hold modulation. And the last output to look at is the VLF, the very low frequency noise, and this isn't audible, so I'll take my output from a self-oscillating filter and I'll add the VLF output to control the cutoff. This is attenuated, so here's opening up that level to control the cutoff. And then attenuating back down. So let's get stuck into some patches. So here I'll start a sequence playing with just a basic oscillator and dual filter. So that's the sequence, all fairly simple, so let's take some noise and mix this in before the filter to add some extra frequency content and harmonics for that filter to bite into. I'll start by adding some white noise, then turning up the noise level in the mixer. Here it is right up. And then taking that back down, we can mix just a small amount in for that extra grit going into the filter. And here it is a little louder, so it's a bit more obvious. If you want a slightly duller noise that has roll off in the higher frequencies, we can use a pink noise. And something with a different tonal character is a digital noise. And here's moving the timbre. I'll take out the oscillator going into the filter, just leaving the noise. And here's adding in the envelope that's controlling my low pass filter to CV control the timbre of the digital noise. So that's the noise now modulated. Turning that down, here's the oscillator mix by itself and then adding in the noise again. So turning that back down to a level where I'd actually use this in a patch, it's adding a lot of character and extra grit before it gets to the filter. So now you're just listening to the raw output of an oscillator, and I look at the VLF, very low frequency output on the noise module. I've got that going into the PWM control of my oscillator. That's going through an attenuator, so here's turning that signal up. And you can hear that really raw, raspy sort of bee or wasp nest type sound. Attenuating that signal before the PWM, you can hear it gives this great unstable sort of sound, moving that pulse width of the square wave on my oscillator. So that works really well for a varied and moving sound that's still got a constant pitch, but something a bit more bonkers and a bit more mangled. Let's add the digital noise output to the FM input on my oscillator. Here's changing the timbre of the noise. Turning up the FM modulation depth on the VCO. Then just in the timbre again. Imagine this sound going into filters or VCAs or something like a low pass gate, you can get some great noisy and moving percussion with these sounds. Here I look at creating some percussion with the unit, and I'll take the white noise output and a trigger pattern into a low pass gate and create a basic hi-hat pattern. Using the digital noise, I'll look at creating a snare drum sound. I'll take this into another low pass gate channel but remove that hi-hat first so we can just hear the snare. So you can hear that digital noise. Let's change its timbre. And I've got my trigger signal that's opening up the low pass gate, also clocking a sample and hold unit so you can create random per hit changes. So let's add that to the timbre CV. I'm going to add in an extra noise for the snare underneath, which is a modulated self-oscillating filter. So let's mix and fine tune these. So that gives the snare that extra bit of body and weight. Here's the white noise hi-hats back in. And let's add a kick drum as well. So it's a fairly simple patch with a low pass gate and the noise module creating some percussion sounds. So that's it for the noise module from Malekko Heavy Industries, a great small and cheap module that offers different noise colours for both audio and CV applications in your system. Hit like and subscribe for more videos every week, and check the Patreon link in the description to see how you can support my channel.